Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was John Wick Chapter 4, making $4.8 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $176 million and a worldwide total of $402 million. So the film has finally done it domestically. It is now officially the highest grossing John Wick film of all time, both domestically and worldwide, surpassing the third one. Job well done. It was a bit of a longer journey than expected due to one mild bump in the road, that being its second weekend drop-off was bigger than expected, but still this is a very solid run for this film. The fact that, again, I've said this countless times before discussing this, but it still applies, the fact that this is a nearly 3-hour R-rated violent action movie and it was able to make this kind of money is insane, even with it being a part of a big franchise. The fact that we're 4 movies in and it's doing these types of numbers outstanding. I'm very happy to see it finally surpass this milestone before it leaves the top 5 because, well, I think it's pretty obvious that it's about to leave the top 5 given its placement and how much it's making, but still, job well done. Very proud to see this movie. I'm sure everyone who's worked on this and everyone who has pretty much seen this movie is proud that the movie was able to achieve this milestone and it leaves the top 5 on a very high note. Not much more else to say here. It's just job well done. Congratulations. Number 4 was The Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary re-release, making $5.1 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $314 million and a worldwide total of $480 million. So I wasn't really expecting this movie to crack the top 5. I thought George Foreman would be the bigger of the two movies, given that it's a new film and the power and I guess the fandom, of George Foreman, and with it being a biopic, I thought that would get the upper hand, but clearly not. Star Wars had the upper hand in this battle, I see. Never go against Star Wars, I guess, as obviously a lot of people would still go out to see this film to celebrate the anniversary and just relive the glory days of their childhood and just rewatch a beloved film that they love and appreciate very much so. I probably should have expected that a bit more, and I apologize. That's on me. But yeah, not really much more else to say here. It's a re-release of Star Wars. It cracked the top 5, which was very impressive. Yeah, let's move on. Number 3 was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, opening with $6.7 million this weekend domestically, and that total stays the same worldwide as it has yet to be released in any international countries. This definitely surprised me. I thought the movie would do a bit better, it's based off of a beloved book. Reviews were outstanding. They actually got better as we got closer to the release of the film. It's actually at a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes now. Exceptional score, if I do say so myself. And given that I think it's talking about a specific topic that I think resonates with a lot of people, I thought that would help it out, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case. Sadly, this is not a very good opening at all. Maybe if it legs out and word of mouth gives it the big boost it needs, maybe it could surpass its $30 million budget domestically, or who knows, maybe this turns out like Puss in Boots and just completely exceeds all expectations. But right now it's not looking too good. Hopefully, again, word of mouth, because audiences also seem to really like this movie. It has an A on Cinema Score, which is very, very good score. And again, a lot of people are liking the movie, so hopefully that gets the word out. I did see it trend on certain social media pages this weekend, so again, maybe getting that word out will help it out. But yeah, it's going to need a lot of help if it needs to become a box office success, because unfortunately this is a very disappointing opening for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Number 2 was once again Evil Dead Rise, making $12 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $44 million and a worldwide total of $88 million. So this movie had a much better second weekend than I was expecting it to. I was expecting something more on the low 60s% range for it to drop off this weekend, but no, it actually came in at 50%, which is very solid for a horror film. It goes to show you how well audiences are receiving this movie. People are really digging this, and it is continuing to be Warner Brothers' first big hit of the year. It's already about to surpass Shazam's entire domestic run, which is outstanding. It's also about to surpass $100 million worldwide on a budget of around $15 to $19 million. It's an incredible run for this movie, and we're only in its second weekend, and I think it's gonna continue to do very well again because it's the only horror movie out right now until The Boogeyman in June. So this movie is definitely going to stand out from the crowd and continue to do well. So yeah, overall, Evil Dead Rise continues to be a much needed hit for Warner Brothers and a pretty surprisingly decent hit overall right now. And finally, let's end the video off with the number one movie of the weekend, which was for the fourth week in a row, the Super Mario Brothers movie, making $40 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $490 million and a worldwide total of $1 billion. That's right, folks. Not only is this movie $10 million away from surpassing the $500 million milestone domestically, but it is also the first film of the year to surpass $1 billion. We all knew this was coming. We all knew this was going to happen, but we are only in its fourth weekend. I wasn't expecting this movie to get to this point so quickly. I thought it would be like further down the line, but no, it's just been holding astonishingly well. And you can probably point that out to lack of competition. Its only real competition this month has been Evil Dead Rise of all things. But still, I don't think anyone was expecting this movie to be such a behemoth right now. It's really resonating with audiences, and the fact that it is the first animated film to surpass the $1 billion milestone worldwide since Frozen 2 is astonishing. This is just an absolutely phenomenal run for the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it's only gonna get bigger. Sure, it's no longer gonna be the number one movie in America thanks to another Chris Pratt movie we'll get to soon, but I still think it's gonna continue to hold well. There's not another family film. I've said this 1,000 times before already, but point still stands until The Little Mermaid on Memorial Day weekend, and there's no animated movies until Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in June. So yeah, even with May and the summer movie season about to kick off, and this movie losing its number one spot, this movie I think is still going to continue to hold well. It's still going to bring in the moolah, and yeah, you cannot deny this is a record breaking, absolutely phenomenal run for this film. I don't know what else to say, but congratulations. This is absolutely astonishing. And those were your top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet, as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters. And this weekend we have one new major wide release. I do know that Love Again is also hitting theaters this weekend, but I don't really have the biggest expectations for that film. It might chart on the low end of the top 5, but I'm not expecting anything major from that one. So let's move on to the other major wide release, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is the big film that is kicking off the summer movie season. It is also the last film involving these iterations of the Guardians, as well as James Gunn as he heads off to DC. I'm expecting obviously much bigger numbers for this than Quantumania, but I also think we're going to see a pretty solid number here. Reviews have been good so far, and from what I've heard from people who went to like some early access showings that they held across the country, audiences, certain people are liking this movie. The marketing has been pretty fantastic. Seen tons of promotion here, and the buzz is there. It is certainly there. It's not as big as the second one for sure, but I'm still hearing a lot of people talking about it. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting weekend. This is probably going to be a big indicator to see if people are really interested in superhero movies in the MCU, and we'll see how this movie turns out. I don't think this is going to be as big as the second one, but I don't think it's going to be a catastrophe by any means. I still think a lot of people are interested enough, and I still think we're going to see a pretty solid number overall, just not as big as the second one. So yeah, I have pretty solid expectations for this movie, but we'll see how well this movie truly does, as well as the rest of the movies that landed in the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.